We're live. And we're live. Now we're live. What's up, guys? And we're live. How you feeling? It's your man, DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast. Y'all know what it is. Let me turn off the banner. There we go. Now it's official. I really want to know podcast. We up in here. We doing things. How y'all feeling? Hope all is well. Um, we're definitely gonna do. We're gonna run through this. Have a good time. Hopefully. I'm just checking the feed, making sure everything is good. And looks like it's there it is. Now it's working. One of these days, guys, we're gonna get our numbers way up and we're gonna have a producer actually producing the show. That's the game. Miss Globe Girl said she'd do it, but I think Miss Globe Girl's I think she's already doing real good for herself. So I doubt if I see her actually producing this show be too much of a commitment. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. If you out there, sis, I'm gonna try to get you out here as the producer. Um, Hey, happy Wednesday, y'all. Happy hump day. I hope y'all are having a good week. It is what it is on this end. Just doing what I do. Um, yeah, just coping. Y'all know what it's like, man. Just coping. Um, look out for each other. Be taking care of each other. Be looking out. If you got any friends out there, any associates out there that you know struggling, shoot them a text. Shoot them a text. Just say, hey man, just thinking about you. Just making sure you good. You good? You know what I mean? Just want you to know you ain't in this by yourself. You got people helping you out. You got people in your corner. You know what I mean? So I did that today. Well, I did that yesterday, and then with someone I just met. I just know they're going through a lot. You know what I mean? They just met them, strangers. You know what I mean? Chatted it up. Seems like a good fella. Hit him up, yo, bro. Just letting you know, man. You ain't here by yourself, man. You got friends, whatever. You got people in your corner. And he hit me back a day later, man. He was just hit me back today. And he was happy. Thank you. You know what I mean? He was happy. He said a couple things, you know what I'm saying? But just to get that, because there's people out there struggling. That wacko dude, that crazy dude to deal what he did in Allen, Texas. That guy was struggling. He didn't have anybody to just check on him. You know what I mean? Dummy getting SS tattoos and swastikas tattooed on his body, and he's a Mexican. Bro, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Cries for help, people. Cries for help. If there's a cry for help, just tell them like I see you. You know what I mean? I just let them know I see you. Brother Knightish in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. How you feeling, player? Hope all is well. So glad you're here. Um, but yeah, let's start taking care of one another out here, people. We're wondering why all this stuff is going on. We're wondering why um people are out here doing this crazy stuff. They're hurting themselves and hurting other people, and we're wondering why. Well, because they feel isolated, they feel alone, they don't fit, and they don't know why. There's a lack of leadership out there. They don't have anyone that they can turn to. That's why. That's why. The people they're turning to are just telling them what they want to hear. That does not help. That does not help the situation. People need to hear the truth. People need to to know the truth so they can adjust and get better. You know what I mean? It's like Brother Knight said right here, man. Above the ground and loving it. Yes, sir. Same here, man. We are on the correct side of the dirt. It's where we need to be. For my brothers and sisters who are in the manosphere, who follow the RP content and all that, you know what I mean? Dang, I said, you know what I mean. Y'all know I'm working on that. But to my brothers and sisters out there, help one another. Help one another. These guys, most of these guys in the RP world, most of these guys in the manosphere, they're looking for answers. They're out there trying to figure out how they can get what it is they're looking for. Most of these dudes, they just want relationships. They're trying to figure out, man, how can I have a relationship? They're trying to they're really looking for cheat codes, but when they come, they get the answers. There are no cheat codes. Myron Gaines and Fresh, the Fresh Fit podcast, man, they're not gonna lie to you. Rich Cooper's not gonna lie to you. Rollo Tomas is not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Coach Greg Adams, Donovan Sharp. The list goes on and on and on. Jay Waller, they're not going to lie to you. Troy Francis, These names that I'm saying right now, these are the content creators you really need to be listening to if you're searching for those answers and you're trying to figure out how to negotiate the dating world. Again, that night, that noise y'all hear in the background is my daughter. She's making herself some quesadillas. Yeah, brother Nice, you know what I mean. Please gon' come. Yeah, you know what I mean. I need to work on that. I need to work on that, bro. You crazy. Oh boy, but here's the thing, we need to help one another. We need to help one another. And that's what it boils down to. I don't care, where they are, red pill, blue pill, manosphere, non-manosphere. I don't care. You need to help one another. Don't go out here looking for cheat codes. Don't go out here thinking it's gonna be easy. It's not, it's gonna take some work. Somewhere along the lines, this society, the American society, has lost sight of the fact that hard work matters. That's all you're gonna hear in the manosphere when it comes to guys. What do they tell you? Do the work. What do they tell you? Work on yourself. Get into the gym. Be the best version of yourself. Become socially calibrated. Learn how to make friends. Learn how to have associates. Make money. Learn how to make money. Become valuable. Become valuable. These are the things that they're learning over in the manosphere. And there's a slew of other things that they're learning. You got to learn game. You got to learn game. There's no getting around it. And game is simply knowledge. I know so many people, when they hear that term, oh, it's game, and right away they start thinking manipulation and pick up artistry and all this. Nah, man, game is knowledge. That's all it is. It's knowledge. Game is knowledge. Game is wisdom. Yeah, you gotta. It's one thing to be book smart, but you gotta know how to apply this stuff in the real world. Right? The dating landscape, man, there's a war out there, bro. It's a war out. It's crazy, and all's fair in love and war. So you out here in the trenches, man. When you hear that whistle, you climb out the trenches and you run across no man's land, and you engaging. You gotta know what you're doing if you want to be successful, and that's just what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to, people. So help one another. Let these people tell your people the truth. Don't sit there and lie to them. Tell them the truth, brother. Dinosaurs in the house. What's good, fam? Brother DL, where did the friendship building go bad? Computer gaming, social media, lack of activities. Yeah, when people stopped going outside. My generation was forced to go outside. We were forced to play with other kids. We were free range kids. We were just out there roaming and learning. We were dealing with stuff. We had to deal with real issues. Nowadays, everyone's online and they're trying to really push the virtual world. So it's going to that. And now it's getting to the point now where people don't even want to go outside for fear that some weirdo is going to come run up on them and do some horrible things, some horrific things. What happened in Allen, Texas was crazy, man. It was terrible. It's terrible. Families were lost, devastated forever. And that's not going to be the last time. It's going to happen some more. It's going to happen some more. So don't fear it. Get outside. Get your, like when my daughter's with me, she's pretty much up under me, and school and whatever we're doing, we're together. But when she's with her mom, she's out there in the real world and she's learning. So at least she's getting both sides of it. She knows how to socialize. She knows how to go out and talk to folks. I'm working on other aspects, like kind of getting her to step it up, getting her ready for the world that she's going to be living in. Getting her, teaching her how to step it up, teaching her how to negotiate, teaching her how to talk to people, teaching her how the game works. We're going to talk about that here in a second. When you talk about what's going on in the school systems, we all know the American school system don't teach you anything. They don't teach these kids nothing. Nothing. They don't teach them nothing. It's all nonsense. And I was telling my daughter, like, they ain't teaching y'all nothing and you still not getting these grades. Like, come on now. Let me show you how to do it. So that's your responsibility as a parent. Like, and that's what this show is all about. We're talking about, we're going to talk about, being a parent, parenting, parenting stuff, and what it looks like today. Lady Navo's in the house. What's good, sis? Always a pleasure to see you. Hope you are well. Happy hump day to you. Or happy Wednesday. But yeah, people aren't getting outside, man. They don't go outside. They're bogged down in their computer and that virtual world, and they're conflating the two. They think it's real world. It's not. There's a lot of people out there. I say this all the time on this platform. You don't know me until you meet me. Like, you guys come through, you support me. I love it. But what do I say all the time? I look forward to meeting each and every one of y'all. You don't know me until you see me in person. And that's why I have on my to-do list live events. This is why, I travel, and I tend to travel a lot this summer and get out here and mix it up and shake hands and break bread and have drinks with folks. Meet, see each other. You don't know me just from this platform. DL Saint is a character on YouTube. I want you to come out and meet me. Come meet Don. You know what I mean? I want you to come and meet me. That's what we need to do, y'all. We need to do that. Meet each other. Let's see what's up. You might meet me in real life and realize, you know what? I don't even like him. I don't like Don. I want to rock with DL Saint. I'd rather be with Saint. I don't like this guy. You know what I mean? Or I might go the other way. So this is, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. Lady Navoa, brother, on my way to an appointment. So I'll listen till then. I'll listen until we're there. Then play back and leave a comment. It's good so far, though. Appreciate that, love. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying. This YouTube stuff ain't no joke. It's fun. It's challenging. It is challenging. I'm not going to lie to you. And I sit there and I watch other content creators and I'm, watching them grow. Shout out to the Medium Man. I'm watching him. He has Mel King. Shout out to her. Really helping him out and promoting and getting his message out there. And I'm watching his numbers grow. I'm like, cool. And I'm seeing how people are doing it. It's fun. Because y'all know, if I'm going to play the game, I'm playing to win. I don't want to, I'm going to sit back and watch somebody like, yo, you've been doing this as long as me and you got this many subscribers, you getting this kind of reach. I need to get my reach up. Same thing as a comedian. I'm not trying to be the worst comedian. I want to be the best comedian in the room. Same thing, air traffic controller. When I climbed into that glass bubble and I was controlling airplanes, I wanted to be the best controller there. That's just the way I get down. So people don't do that anymore. People are just happy, mediocre, just being mediocre. They're happy. Oh, I'm just going to be average or less than average. They're happy. That's unacceptable to me. I can't get that. You know what I mean? I can't be that way. Brother Dino, January 21st, the Bidens plan to double the number of school psychologists, therapists, social workers, and other health professionals in K through 12 schools across the nation in order to help American students. Yeah, they want to do that, but where's the money going to come from? They want to do that. It's political. It's political. If they were serious about that, they could have had that money in there. And had these programs in place. And it's good to have those people in the schools, but how about we teach our kids? We're not even teaching our kids. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Lady Navoa, got you, bro. You doing good. Appreciate that. And she continues. That's good. Yeah. And Brother Dino, that's good. Especially if he really did that, because these kids have they need that. They need that. There's so much these kids are dealing with. A lot of these kids are dealing with parents who aren't doing the work, man. So it is what it is. So yeah, you talk about schools, you talk about the need for therapists and social workers and healthcare professionals and stuff like that. You look at Florida, the state of Florida. They can't keep teachers in the buildings. How are they going to be able to get all these other professionals in there? Why can't they keep teachers in the building? Because these kids are out of control. It's not just Florida. Throughout America, these kids are out of control. You're hearing these stories about, teachers having to fight kids. There was somewhere in America, I think it was an administrator, vice principal, or a principal was jumped by a pack of kids. And they beat her pretty bad. Wound up in the hospital. There was a story. I think this one, one of these stories was somewhere in the South. I want to say South Carolina, North Carolina, or Alabama, something like that. She had to fight a female student. This was a substitute teacher, had to fight a female student over a cell phone. The teacher took the phone away from the child, and it turned into a fight, an all-out brawl. You got these problems. The whole trans thing and the locker rooms and stuff like that. You got all these things going on. You have some states like Florida who are really making it difficult for teachers, to the point where teachers could face civil action. They're already not making money. You're making it to where some disgruntled parent can come in and sue them. So you have teachers just leaving Florida in droves. They're already not getting paid a lot of money, and you're going to give them all this extra pressure and no support. And then there was a story of this first grader who brought a gun to school and shot his teacher. This first grader was a problem child. So bad, this kid was so bad that the school made a rule that the only way the kid can come to the school and be in the school is if a parent was there during the day with the kid every day in school. So on one of the days the parents weren't there, the kid apparently allegedly had a pistol, shot his teacher. You know what I mean? He didn't delete her. She survived. But we're going to talk about that here in a second. This is what we're dealing with. This is it. This is it. This is what we're dealing with. You got these kids out here who have what we used to say, no home training. Kids got no home training. There's no discipline in their home for whatever reason. And people start looking for excuses because their kid is bad. And the system, like is powerless to do anything about it. I'm all for kicking kids out of school. If the child is bad, kick them out. No, you can't come. Nope, bad. Broke the rules. Bye. See you. But the school don't want to get rid of the kids because the funding is based on how many kids are in the school. You see where the problem comes in. This is crazy, brother Dino. October 22nd, the Biden administration announced more than $300 million in new mental health funding. Yes. Again, I don't know where all this money is coming from. The big talk in America right now is the debt ceiling. So who knows what's going to happen with that? These politicians playing these political games. They do this every year. They turn things into problems every single, all the time. Comes to budgets and all this kind of stuff is crazy. Both sides spend like drunken sailors until the other side's in charge. They don't want to spend anymore. It's ridiculous. And brother, that's why teachers are getting guns. Yeah, there's a proposal here in Florida, and there's some other proposals throughout the country that they're like, yeah, teachers should be armed. I don't know about that. My thing is, how about how about these parents take care of their kids? These kids they're just wild, and they're wild because they have, like I said, no home training, no upbringing. They have no fear of their parents. These kids get out here into the real world and they have to deal with people who don't care about them and they get wrecked. And then these kids wind up needing, mental health services. Yeah, because wait a minute. Because I don't care. Your kid come up to me talking trash, I'm gonna deal with him. That's it. You come up to me, I'm gonna deal with you. We in Florida. I get to stand my ground down here. I don't care how old you are. That's it. And then when you deal with these kids, the parents come out of the woodwork talking all this craziness. Well, how come you didn't deal with your child earlier? If you had done a good job of disciplining your child, I wouldn't have to deal with it. So, there's people out there getting dealt with, and this system in America is not set up to be kind and gentle to these children. When law enforcement come, they taking you, and they putting you in the system. And, more often than not, they're going to charge that child as an adult, depending on what they did. Right? Our prison system, that's like its own little beast. It feeds on lost souls. Right. And we don't have that village anymore. So kids don't have any fear of their parents. There's no discipline. They don't respect themselves. They don't respect others. And they get out here in the real world and they get wrecked. And then the parents want to blame society. That's what it is. Scam like don't beat the kids. Don't beat your kids if you don't want to. Scam, I got kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, they took some L's. But you know what the teachers tell me about my daughter? Oh, we love your daughter. She's so well-mannered. Oh my goodness, we wish more kids were like her. She took L's when she was little. She pushed the boundaries. She tried me. And she took L's. Period. Now here we are. She's a teen and she gets it. And when she was with the other side, they let her do whatever she wanted to do. She ran that. I saw it. Coming up. I saw it with my own eyes. I remember once when she was in preschool, daycare, acting a fool. Teachers couldn't get her to calm down, and she would only act up on certain days. And the teacher was like, "You sit down, you do this." And my daughter looked at that grown lady and said, "I don't have to do it today," right? Because she knew I wasn't there. This isn't today. Papa don't come today, and she knew it. But that's fine though. What she didn't count on was them grown-ups calling me, and daycare was only 2 blocks away. I walked right over there, took care of business. You know what I mean? She got discipline right there, and guess what? Never happened again. So yeah, Scam. If you get some kids and you don't want to put your hands on your kids, all right, good for you, bro. Go ahead and give it a shot. But I'm just letting you know will work for me. What got me here? That's what got me here. Now I'm not as stern as my parents were. I'm not. My child gets away with way more than I did. Way more. We sit down and talk or whatever. But I absolutely did use that tool. Yes, I did, especially when she was young. You can't sit down and reason with some little kid. You can't reason with a 4, 5, 6 year old. You can't reason with them. Gotta give them a reason. I gave her a reason. She was calm with me to the point where the other half of the family, her people, be calling me. We gonna call your dad. And that was the only thing that would calm her down. We finna call your dad because she knew, like, they pick up that phone, he gonna show up. She couldn't piece together that I was at work or I was over here or I was out there. All she knew is they pick up the phone. We calling your dad. We calling your dad. And she'll sit down. No, 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 I'll be good. Kids do that. Kids do that. Why? Because you give them a reason. Can't sit there and reason with them. We got to give them a reason. That's just my take on it now. That's just how I did it. Like I say, my daughter goes to school. Teachers love her. They love it. Oh, man, wish we had 20 more, 100 more of these kids like your daughter. Oh, my goodness, we love her. She's such a great girl, great kid, great student. All right, cool. Now we got stuff we got to work on. That's my job as a father. Like, now she reached a certain age. I don't have to put the hands on her no more. I can take things away. That's more effective. I ain't gotta beat you up now for various reasons. But if my daughter was a boy, teenage boy, and he tried to step up to me like he gonna do something, I slam nickels out of him because I know society's gonna do way worse. I never, ever in my life step to my father like I'm gonna do something to him. Ever. I ain't doing that. It wasn't worth it. So if I had a young boy step to me like that, and that's my son, yeah, I slam nickels out of him. Boy, I be like Bam Bam, be like Bam Bam on the Flintstones. Bam, 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 bam. I do him like the Hulk did Loki. Puny God. For real. Y'all better take care of y'all child, whatever it takes, by all means necessary. Because we're talking about their lives. This is what we're talking about. Their life moving forward. Trying to keep them on this side of the dirt. Trying to keep them from being incarcerated for the rest of their lives, or try to keep them from facing capital punishment. This is the responsibility of a parent. And if you had the child, that means you taking on that responsibility. You know what I mean? Disrespect equals beating, though. Cause 001. I couldn't disagree with you more. Like, I know, and Mandrell agrees with you on that sort of stuff, but I couldn't disagree with you more. And for me, it's anecdotal. I know my past. I know what I went through. I know what type of person I was as a kid. I know where I am now. All the stuff that got me through all that BS, I learned from my parents and from my aunts and my uncles and from other adults. We actually did have a village back then, right? We actually did have a village. So now, man, discipline. If you love your children, you're gonna discipline your children at a young age. They got on Pampers or whatever, man. They couldn't even feel you hitting them because they got on Pampers and all that, puffy clothes and all that. But it's just the action. They knew they did something wrong. It was the action that would get them together. That's why you got to give them a pow pow. And little kids like, oh, pow pow. They know it's bad. They ain't getting beat up. You ain't hitting them. You know what I mean? And for those who do hit babies like they grown ups, yeah, that's abuse. That's against the law. Don't do that. That's wrong. No, I'm talking about disciplining your children. But once upon a time in the United States military, they would beat you up. You went through basic training. Marines would beat you up, that whole shark thing. And then they said, oh, you can't do that anymore. It's just a matter of time. We're going to wind up in a real shooting war. And when that happens, they're going to lift all those restrictions on military training. Them kids going to come in here and they're going to get it. It's going to be like Full Metal Jacket, bro. It's going to be like Full Metal Jacket. When I went through basic training, drill sergeants will take their drill sergeant hats off. Like, any one of y'all think y'all man enough to come up here and do something with me, step up. Shout out to drill sergeant Stump. He wasn't playing. Like, y'all think y'all man enough, step up. Nobody step up. Can't do that now. They'll pull him off the trail. Now, all that's going to change. I'm trying to tell you, all that's going to change. Layla Navor, whoopings are not disrespect. That's what they need, LOL. Sometimes, some not all, and always right. That's right. Yeah, nickels. I'm slamming nickels out, little boys. Little boys acting, man, listen, I don't play. Homie, you come over here, you're going to come up at me like a man. You're going to step to me like a man. I'm going to deal with you like a man. We don't have that anymore. These kids think they think they own something. They think they tough. When these little boys in the neighborhood try something like that, hit my car. Man, look, he was this close to getting nickel slammed up out of him. You know what I mean? And if he'd have kept that little disrespect up, which he didn't, he tightened up real quick. But if he kept that little disrespect up, I'd have told him go get a grown up. Please go get a grown up right now. Go get me a grown up. For real, we could have dealt with that right. We're gonna deal with this right here, right now. And guess what? He has respect for me, and the rest of those kids got respect for me. They stay away from me and stay away from that one. Because they know what time it is. You want smoke? No, you don't. I really want to smoke. Get a grown up to come over here. Go get that simpleton that your mom is smashing. That dude that you don't respect and you know what I mean, is whatever. Go get him. Let's see how bad he really want to smash your mom. Because I done dealt with that too. I tell a dude, like, bro, you finna take this for what? She don't even care about you. Look at it. She's looking at me right now. You really want to do this, player? This ain't even your kid. You ready? I mean, we could talk about it. Yeah, he ain't about that life. He ain't about that life. We can do it any way you want to do it. But we need that. We need that. We need that to come back. Because I'm telling you, when law enforcement get involved, they don't care. They're going to feed you to the beast. And that's what's going to happen to these kids. They're going to the beast. Brother Dusto, I was saying that disrespect is grounds for a beating. Oh, okay. Considering the consequences for disrespect in real life and pain. All right, we're on the same page. My bad, bro. I read it the same way Miss Navarre read it. Sister Navarre read it. I was like, oh, nah, I'm all about beating these little kids up, bro. So yeah, my bad. I stand corrected. My bad, brother. But yeah, I mentioned that story about the first grader who shot his teacher. The sixth grade, right? I'm sorry. 6-year-old who shot Newport News teacher has ADHD, mother says in an ABC interview. So here we go. Here we go. It ain't my fault, right? Mom done had this kid, this bad little kid. There go mama right there. This bad little kid, look like her attorney. Because right now she is facing the consequences for her son's actions, as she should. They talking about she gonna have to do some time too, as she should. But a lot of this I put on the school. The way I understand it, the school said that the child couldn't be there without a parent or guardian, and if they didn't have a parent or guardian, then he had to stay home. They should have stuck to that rule. This is CNN. The mother of 6-year-old who shot his teacher at an elementary school in Newport News, Virginia, spoke exclusively Wednesday on ABC Good Morning America. She probably got paid for that. She's gonna need that money for her legal defense fund. He has ADHD. Some are able to have it at a very mild rate. Deja Taylor told ABC Lindsay Davis in the interview, he's off the wall, doesn't sit still ever. I bet you she ain't never touched him ever. I bet you. I don't know anything, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I bet you this little boy ain't never got a whooping. I bet you this little boy ain't never got spanked. ADHD's got a lot of energy. Take him outside and play. Take him outside and play. But a lot of people don't want to do that because they're tired. I get it. You tired. You working. You single. You got this kid. You tired. You working all day. You just want to lay around. Well, you can't because you got this kid. If he can't sit still, take him outside and run him. That's what they did with us. None of us could sit still. Me and my cousins couldn't sit still if you put a gun to our head. My Uncle Larry would take us out and take the dogs out and run us through the park until we could barely stand up. When we came home, we sat down all right. We ain't had no energy for nothing. Shout out to Uncle Larry. He ran us through the park. I mean, as kids, man, we was little kids. I didn't do that much running in the Army. That's why when I got to the Army, it wasn't that bad. I hate running to this day now. Uncle Larry had us all through Eden Park in Cincinnati. It gets crazy. We got Black Man Unfiltered in the building. What's good, black man? How you feeling, bro? Hey, great show last night, man. I was this close to popping on, bro. I was gonna pop on, but it got late. I had to take care of some stuff. That was a great show last night. Y'all go over if y'all haven't already, but most of y'all are already fans. but if you haven't already, please go over and support Black Man Unfiltered Network. Uh, Black Man is doing work over there. He had a panel, and they were talking about marriage and why marriage today uh, is not favorable to men mostly, and to other folks. Why folks don't want to get married. And his panel was full of people who've been married a long time. Yeah, there was a couple single folks on there, but that was a perspective you don't normally get to see. You get to sit there and you hear, because let's face it, married people don't have to sit around and talk about marriage because they married and they're having a good old time. The ones who are successful, the people who are out here making the most noise are the hit dogs, right? Because the hit dog is going to yelp, and the people out here talking about it, or the people out here who had bad experiences with it. If someone asked me about it, like, well, why won't D.O. saying you don't believe in marriage? I'm like, I don't believe in the laws that have sprung up around marriage in America. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in taking that chance, especially at this stage in my life. It's just too much of a chance to take. But what black men know and what they were talking about last night, and sexless, sexless marriages. That's right. Because I didn't watch all I was seeing, but sexless marriages to me I would say is a failed marriage. And I watched the first half. Like I said, I had to stop. I didn't get to watch the rest. Because in Black Man, I was watching the point where y'all were talking about why people weren't getting married, and everybody was saying what they had to say. And the one sister, I think she was from New York. The one that you was like when she takes her glasses off, I forget her name, brother. What's her name? And as a matter of fact, let me do this real quick, y'all. I'm gonna drop this link. This is for Black Man only. I'm gonna drop this link real quick. This is for Black Man only. Because I want him to come up and if you can, bro, if you can, I'm putting that link in there for you, bro. If you can, take heed. Yeah, take heed to the message. That sister right there. She and that link is for Black Man only, guys. If anybody else pops in, I'm not gonna pull you up until I'm done with my part of the show. I wanted to just get Black Man. If you're free now, bro, if you can, I just want you to come up and give us a highlight of that show. It was a good show. But Sister Take Heed was saying when she had her first child, she was in the hospital. And this is a little bit off topic, but I think it was real important. That's why I want to talk about it right now. She was in the hospital. She's in the hospital bed, recovering, just had the baby. She said in the room with her was a married woman who just had a baby. And that married woman's husband showed up and had flowers and cards and balloons. And he came in there and he kissed her, embraced his wife, and it was just like this big thing, because they're married and they had a baby, and this was like a celebration. And Sister Take Heed was saying how she didn't have that. She was in that room alone. Their mom showed up eventually, and Sister Take Heed's like, I didn't even want them to bring the baby. She didn't want to touch the baby, and her mother was like, no, that's your child. You had that child. This is what happens when you have babies outside of wedlock. This is how it works. And I thought that was powerful when she said that, like, whoa. And then she went on to say that she got married. She eventually got married. And she had more children. And she said, yeah, I remember the next time I was in the hospital with my second child, her husband came in there with, same scenario. She's in the room. And I think the nurse asked her, will anybody be coming to see you? And she was like, oh, yes, my husband is on his way. And like husband showed up, mad flowers and cars with all kind of money inside the car, even though Sister Take Heed was saying, she was saying, yeah, she said it was our money, but it was just a point. And there go brother Black Man right there, man. What's good, fam?
What's going on with you, brother? I'm driving, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, bro. I just wanted you to finish telling that story about how Sister Take Heed when she had her second baby and her husband showed up.
Yeah, man. Husband showed up and said, hey, baby, I got you. Thank you for having my child. Thank you for being my wife, and she said ever since then, she said she straightened her back up, poked her knew that marriage was the way to go, and she wish she would have done it earlier. And she said she regrets having her first, regret going through the first, not having this first, but going through the first pregnancy alone. She wish she would have gotten married. and enjoyed that married. And she said her son um, is not, he's her new husband is not the father of her first son. And those kids got they grew up with their dad. They're married, and she said that's one of the things that she regrets, that she could have given him the same lifestyle that her children, the four children that she has by her husband now. But man, that woman, when we talk about in these YouTube streets, they talk about mama this, baby mama that. And some of the men are talking about baby mamas because we're trying to figure out, when are you going to change your ways? How many kids does it take for you to say, you know what? Aha, this is what it takes to make a child with a person that I don't even like or don't like me. And so Take Heed had one child. And after that one child, she vowed, I will never, ever have another kid unless I am with a man that's a leader, and I'll get pregnant by him. And that was her story, man.
Wow, that was powerful, man. Not like I said, I was like, boy, I want to come up in there, but sometimes as a content creator, you just gotta sit back and just enjoy the message. And that's what I was doing. I was enjoying the message, and then I had to go do some other stuff. So I didn't get to really get into the sexist part. So just real quick, man, as a roundup for the show, like what, because I want people to go watch that episode. Matter of fact, I'm looking for it now. Let me drop it in the chat so people can just click on it. But how did that turn out? So what was the basic conversation about the sexist marriage thing? Because I would imagine if I'm in a marriage and it's sexist, man, I don't know if I want to be married, bro. But if I said the words, that means I shouldn't get divorced. Did that come up at all?
Yeah, yes. So last night, man, a lot of people had a lot of great perspectives, and they dropped a lot of dimes. But Take Heed to the message. She dropped some nukes. Um, when it came to sexist marriage. And she said that a lot of women say, "Oh, I don't love him no more. Oh, I don't want to be with him no more." Oh, she said that women make the man look like he's the devil. And she said, but let's sit down with the women and start asking them questions. Right? When your man, did you talk to your man with a soft voice? Did you rub your man's back when he came home from work? Rub his feet? Did you fix his plate? She said, did you make love to him? I mean, she went really deep. She said, did you give him head when he wanted it?
Oh,
And she said, but then you want to call and tell the whole world that he's a cheater. She said, yeah, he cheated. And the reason that he cheated is because you didn't do your part. How many times does a man have to tell you, baby, I need your love. I don't need you screaming, cursing at me. I don't when I come in from work, I need you to rub my back or rub my feet. She said, well, you're not doing any of those things, but then when your husband go out and get that boy feel somewhere else, you complaining to the world saying he's the devil. He cheated on me. I did everything I could for this man. And she says sexless marriage will run a man into that situation. And so, man, she dropped some nukes last night, man. Y'all got to go watch it. It
mm.
was man, that woman learned her lesson from that first baby, got married, been married for 15 years. She know what it takes to be a wife. And every Tuesday, man, this woman is dropping some bombs. I mean, she understands, what it feels like, and she doesn't understand the statistics today, how the average woman is having a baby at 21 without a father, but they'll say no to marriage at 20. She doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand the ignorance behind it. So, man, you got to watch it, bro. I mean, go watch that end part. You're gonna be like, whoa.
I'm gonna check it out,
Whoa.
brother, because I just dropped it in the chat. The episode I dropped in the chat, y'all. Y'all go ahead and click on that. That'll take you right to the episode on Black Men Unfiltered Network. Sexist marriages, and Sister Lady Navoa dropped in uh, um, Sister Take Heed to the Message. There it is, right there. Just highlighted it. There's her link, so y'all go support that sister as well. Yo. That, bro, I like what you're doing. I gotta get you a Don DeMarco because bro, I see what you're doing, black man, and I tip my hat to it. Some of the stuff you do, and I'm like, man, I don't even know why he doing that, because he can get so many more views doing this and doing that. But I understand, because I do the same thing. You know what? Like, I know I could, if I went hard in that red pill world, I get a bunch of views and I get a bunch of followers and be that part of that echo chamber. But you're actually trying to get to some answers. You're actually trying to plant some seeds and help some folks, man. Salute to you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. And I think we lost Black Man. Yep, I
Oh,
think
I'm
we
here.
lost. Oh,
Can you
you
hear
there?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate the love, man, because when you choose to do this to try to help people, you're not going to get as many likes and views and all that other stuff, man. But it's just a slow growth when you're trying to do the right thing. And but we already know the negative and the arguments. There's so many spaces for that. They it's saturated with that. So
Hmm.
you can't be successful in saturation. You have to stand apart, and then until people start noticing it. So I think last night, man, for the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've been really talking about it, trying to change the narrative. Now we still gonna hold some people accountable. Shit, because if you don't hold people accountable, they stay the same, man. We're trying to change their mindset. So I'm gonna let the women talk to these women because they doing a magnificent job of it. And we're gonna talk. We got these talk to these men, man, and keep it rolling, man. Now you keep doing what you're doing too, brother.
I will, bro. And before I let you go, what's your thoughts on the especially this sister in Newport News? Her 6-year-old shot the teacher, and I guess it's because he got ADHD. What's your take on that, man? Do you think that parents have stopped disciplining their child, and do you think parents shouldn't spank their kids? What's your thought? What's your take on that before we get you out of here?
Yeah, yeah, no problem, brother. Whoop that entire ass. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you why I say that. It's because today, they have this thing called gentle parenting. Listen, we're not living in a gentle world, so you can be as gentle as you want to. But these kids at school, they vaping, they smoking weed, they having sex earlier than ever, 10, 11, 12 years old, having sex. The kindergartners are touching each other between the legs, trying to figure out what's going on there. You had the kid shot his mom in the head and deleted her because she didn't want to buy him an Oculus for Christmas. So she went to sleep. He shot her in the head. It's just like today's world. Everybody want to gentle parent these kids that need their asses whooped. And I guarantee you, this little kid that went shot this teacher to my ADHD. Listen, man, growing up, we didn't give a damn about your diagnosis. If man, all my front row would be missing if I disrespected my mom or went to school and shot a teacher or put my hands on an adult. We would get our asses stomped out. So it's like we're bathing and coddling these kids, and now we're seeing the results of people trying to be friends with their kids. I tell my kids, I'm your father. I'm not your friend. I will beat your ass.
Facts.
And right, so I think that's where we are right now, man. We're spoiling these kids. We're coddling them. That's why the little boys want to wear dresses and the girls want to pimp hoes.
Yep.
We're in a bad situation, brother.
Man, you ain't never lied, bro. So I'm definitely gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I know you're gonna keep doing what you're doing, brother. And you know I'm here for you, man. All you gotta do is tell me, and I'm there. I don't care where it is. I plan on being in Dallas this summer, maybe after 4th of July. So I'll definitely keep you posted,
Oh
man.
yeah,
We
we got
gotta
to
go.
link up for sure, brother.
Yes,
We got to
sir. We
link
gotta
up
do
for sure.
absolutely. We gotta, like I tell you, I said at the top of the show. I can't say I really know you until I break bread with you. I gotta shake your hand, gotta give you love before I can say I know you. Because y'all gotta understand YouTube ain't real. Social media ain't real, y'all. Y'all hear me? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So brother, thank you so much, man. That's hey y'all. Just gotta give it up to Black Man Unfiltered, bringing the fire each and every night. You want to plug your platform real quick?
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Black Man Unfiltered Network, man. Just type it into YouTube, it'll pull it right on up. It's the same thing on IG, same thing on Facebook, same thing on Twitter. We streaming 4 nights out of the week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So guys, just come in and hit the like button, subscribe button, turn on the notification so you know when we're live. Appreciate it.
There it is right there, brother. I'm gonna holler at you later, man. Thank you so much for jumping up, man. I
All
really
right, brother.
appreciate you. Peace. Yo, it's Black Man Unfiltered, y'all. That is Black Man Unfiltered. I discovered that brother through Suzette Speaks. Shout out to Suzette and so many others out there. And like you said, man, YouTube, I get it. It's you want to win. It's about the views. It's about the likes. It's about the engagement. It's about the monetization. But at the end of the day, really, in my opinion, it should be about making a difference, man. Planting the seeds. I had a short out there right now. One of the shorts I put out there, and one of the people commented on the shorts. It was the short I did about the FHA loans and how that's the routes to to generational wealth. And some comment, some person in America or wherever in the world, like, hey, you have the answers for everything. And I responded to that because I look at those comments and I responded to that. I'm like, no, I don't. I was like, no, sir, I do not. I'm just trying to make a difference. I'm just trying to plant some seeds. And that's all I'm really trying to do, y'all. Just trying to, man, if you could just spark some thought, that could change someone's life. It could change someone's life and then provide opportunities, for you to better yourself. Me and Jay Swans put that video together about being air traffic controllers. You know how many black folk hit us up about being air traffic controllers? You want to know how many? This many. This many who qualified. There was no young people who looked like me trying to get on as an air traffic controller. All the people who wanted to get on to look like me were already too old. They were all over 31. But we did help a lot of people. There are people that are getting hired as air traffic controllers, going from working as a bar, a waitress or bartender, something like that, to being air traffic controllers. And when I say bartender, I ain't saying bartender is some high-end club where they're making $200,000 a year. No, I'm talking about people at the corner store, right next to the corner store in a little hole in the wall bar right there, just barely getting enough money to make it to the next following week. These people, these folks who out here came up the way I came up, then had nothing, took this opportunity. And now they're becoming air traffic controllers, and they're going to be making 6 figures plus for the next 20 years. With benefits, time off, everything you could ever want. And not one of them looked like me. Not one. So, it is what it is, man. I don't want to hear it. I got hit up by some people today. After now the bid's closed, can't even get on, asking me about it. It's just sad. It's just so sad. So we're trying to make a difference. We're trying to help people out, man. We're trying to put people on. Lady over, okay, gotta go. They call me black. Yeah, all right, sis. All right, sis. You know what I mean? Shout out to you. To the good live. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the other end. Brother Von Bryant's in the house, man. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Greetings to you as well, my brother. We got Brother Tez in the house, man. Facts. That's the goal for us on YouTube. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you for doing the work. I'm trying to do the work, bro. And I see you out there, man. I know you're doing the same thing. Like I said, I've been on those panels. I've seen you. Shout out to Hink in the basement. You know what I mean? Shout out to Black Man. Unfiltered, man. Shout out to all of it. Shout out to Mel King. You know what I mean? Like people out here, man, whatever. She's trying to help people in her own way. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, even though he's not here, he's not with us anymore. But he planted the seed. This message is here. It ain't going nowhere. Shout out to Rolo Tomasi. Shout out to Rich Cooper. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. Say what you want about them platforms, but they are trying to help. I've been in a room full of young men. We were in Dallas, man. Shout out to Fresh and Fit Dallas. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rod Eric and the crew. We were in Dallas. There were no less than 100 men on top of a roof in Dallas. I don't know if you ever been to Dallas in the summertime. Bro, it's hot. You hear what I'm saying? It's hot. We're in Dallas. It's noon. That noon sun, that sun was right on top of us, beating down on us. It was hot. It was 100 young men on top of this roof in line, waiting to talk to Myron and Fresh, waiting to give comments. And these people be jumping on these dudes, man. Oh, man, you be riding they dick this, that, man. Whatever, man. Fuck y'all. I'm serious. Because I seen with these two eyes what these young men are doing, helping other young men. Lined up 100 of them. Lined up. You know how much they charged? You know how much they charged to get on that roof and talk to Fresh and Fit? This much. They ain't charged nothing. Myron and Fresh made a point not to leave until they talked to each and every one of those men who wanted to talk. And let these men talk. They let these young men talk. Men up there talking about I was going to delete myself until I saw y'all platform. So come on now. They out here helping. They got these other people out here talking all this nonsense, saying all this stuff. And this is why I get upset, bro. I get mad about it when I see it. Like, you out here, you got enough time and energy to say all this negativity, but you can't come around and better yourself. You sitting around here crying about the white man. You sitting around here crying about the Matrix. And here I am telling you, whoa, bro, here you go. You can become an air traffic controller. You're gonna make over $100,000 a year, guaranteed, up to 300,000. Depends on how hard you want to work. Nah, I got my money in these NFTs. Like, get out of my face. That's why I tell some of y'all people when y'all meet me, you might not like the dude standing in front of you, because if you want some bullshit, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right there to your face. I ain't gonna wait till you walk away. I'm gonna look at you like an idiot. Like, what? I'm gonna look at you like that. So, ladies too, I'm gonna look at you like that. You come up there and acting like a 304, you're gonna get treated like a 304. I'm gonna treat you the way you treat me. It's the way I was raised. Right? I'm gonna reflect it right back to you. I treat everybody the way I want to be treated, and normally that's what I get back. But these young kids are lost. Why? Like this lady right here. My son got ADHD, so it's okay that he took a gun to school and shot his teacher. Now, I don't know if that's what she's going to say, but we're going to finish reading this article and figure out exactly what she meant. How about it's your fault, lady? It's your fault. Brother Tez, people really don't understand the work we do. We got to keep working for the betterment of the people. Facts. Facts, bro. Facts. That's what we're doing. I mean, there's people out there who just want the money. You know what I mean? I could say, I'm not even going to holler their names. There's people out there, there are content creators out there, they just want to get the money. Man, I ain't mad at them. Get your bread, bro. Get your money up, because you could be doing far worse. You know what I mean? Get your money up. I ain't mad at them. But as an individual, if you out here you searching for answers, you better go to the right ones. You better go to the right ones. You run up on one of these false prophets if you want to. They'll have you wearing some purple Chuck Taylors, man, and drinking some tainted Kool-Aid, waiting for some spaceship to pick you up, be laying there on your cot, covered up with a purple shroud. If you follow them people, if you want to, right? If anybody knows about Heaven's Gate, y'all know what I'm talking about. Follow them people if you want to. I don't feel sorry for nan one of them. That's what they chose to do. I don't feel sorry for nan one of them. People, y'all got to understand. The world don't really care about you, especially if you're a man. White, black, Asian, it doesn't matter. Latin. If you're a guy, man, the world does not care about your struggles. This is how it is. Hopefully your family does. Hopefully. I care about my daughter enough to discipline her. I love my daughter more than anything. I'm going to discipline her. I'm going to prepare her for the world as it is, not the world as it should be. If my daughter goes out here and does something stupid like shoot a teacher, no, I'm not going to blame ADHD or whatever. No, I'm going to blame me. I did something wrong. This woman did something wrong. She did something wrong. And she's sitting here and she does not want to take responsibility. Brother Chris Smokey Hats in the house. What's good, fam? Heaven's Gate. And you also have Lord Zunu as well. Yo, bro, it's so many of these groups out here, man. It's so many of them doing whatever they doing. Because they don't have any game. They don't have any game. Let's get back to it. Again, shout out to Brother Black, man. Bro, thanks for coming up, man. I really appreciated that. And go check out that show he did on sexless marriages, y'all. I'm going to go back and watch the rest myself. So she says he had ADHD, right? We talked about that. He's off the wall. He doesn't want to sit still ever. All right. Taylor's 6-year-old son shot his teacher, Abigail Zwingner, in January. The teacher's a 25-year-old. She's a 25-year-old teacher at Rich Neck Elementary School. She suffered gunshot wounds to her hand and chest, but survived. Taylor was charged in April with felony child neglect and one count of recklessly leaving a firearm to endanger a child. Yeah, she's definitely guilty of that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, there's going to be a deal made. There's going to be a deal made here, y'all. There's going to be a deal made. But whatever deal it is, and I'm not up there in Newport News, I'm not in Virginia, but whatever deal is, it should come with jail time for her. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man, she shouldn't have that child. That child should become a ward of the state. Now you got to let the state deal with him, which is gonna really turn him into a monster. I mean, it's just a shame. I mean, it's just a shame. That boy took a weapon and took it to school. And I don't know if you can know anything about the story, but apparently he was walking around the school, telling kids, showing kids he had it. Like, if y'all say something, I'm gonna pop you with this thing. He was going around the school doing that. None of the kids said anything. I mean, you can't be mad at the child. Like, they know this boy crazy. They know something wrong with this boy. How he getting here with a gun? And they checked him. They were saying, oh, well, they patted him down or whatever. Well, did they? How did he get this pistol in here? Man, it's crazy. But yeah, she should get some, whatever the deal is, it should include jail time, in my opinion, man. But who am I? Just some old man, some upset old man about this time, sitting in his attic talking to his computer. Because of the student's acute disability, one of his parents was usually in the classroom with him, according to the statements previously released by his family. Taylor said family members stopped attending classes with him the week of the shooting because he had started medication and was meeting his goals academically. Now, again, this statement right here is coming from the defense. The school mandated, right? And this is allegedly the school mandated that a parent or guardian be present with that child every since the only way you can go to school. Now, unless there's some documentation that says that, it confirms this little part right here, or collaborates, if you don't use legal terms, that they didn't go, no one from his family was there because he was on medication, he was meeting his academic goals. That has nothing to do with the fact that he can't sit still. It has nothing to do with the fact that the boy was bad seed, bad code. So that's what they're saying. I'm pretty sure the prosecution is going to have a different story. Taylor said her son actually really liked Zwigner, but felt like he was being ignored in school. Here we go. Feels before reels. He felt like he was being ignored in school. How we get from he was meeting his academic goals, he was taking medication, so we thought he was good too. Well, he likes the teacher, but he just felt like he was being ignored. Okay. Just don't make any sense to me. Taylor described an incident in class after Werner asked him to sit down, saying he threw his arms up. He said fine, and when he threw his arms up, he knocked her phone out of her hand on accident, and he got suspended for that. He should have got suspended for that, and it wasn't an accident. This is what I'm talking about. You got the devil's seed up in that joint. This little boy is bad. He knew what he was doing. He threw his arm. He knew what he was doing. He knocked her. Nah, he shouldn't have been there. He should not have been there. Like, no, we're not going to accept this dude in this school district. Y'all can homeschool his y'all should homeschool his bad ass. That's what they should have done. That's what they should have done. So, and then she's trying to say, well, he just threw his hands up and knocked her phone out of her hand, and he got suspended for that. He probably hit the teacher. He probably hit the teacher. Brother Vikings in the house, what's good, bro? Appreciate you on Overwatch. You know what I mean? Casual Germs in the house as well. It's like Little Lucifer, exactly. Little Lucifer. Little badass baby Chaz baby kids. I don't know what they calling that lady, but from now on, I'll be calling her baby. Baby kids. We don't die, we multiply. In the wake of the shooting, Werner, I'm sorry y'all be messing up her name, but it is what it is, filed a lawsuit against school administrators and the school board, alleging they were aware of the student's history of random violence and did not act proactively amid concerns over a firearm in the boy's possession on the day of the shooting, according to the lawsuit obtained by CNN. Right, she about to get paid. Warner's about to get paid, as she should. The entire school district knew about this badass little boy. All of them knew. Trust me, it wasn't just he threw his arms up and knocked the phone out the teacher's hand. Nah, that was one of probably thousands of incidents. I'm serious. Bad little kids are bad all the time. You know what they're not talking about the million times they probably told him to sit down. And he just get up and walk around, knock books down, messing with the other kids. Just, all that. Messing with other kids, being a disturbance. They should have been done, got rid of him. And yeah, they're going to have to pay her a lot of money. How did he get that weapon into the school? Where were the parents or the legal guardians as per the mandate? This kid's so bad, we're going to have one of y'all up in here. And he in there without him. And that's the day that he pulls out the weapon and he fires and he shoots his teacher. And then the mom is going to say, well, he likes the teacher. Word? Man, I ain't never shot nobody I like. Just keeping it 100. I ain't never done it. And yes, that teacher should be paid in full. That's crazy. Davis pressed the family and family attorney twice on how the child got access to the gun. When asked the first time, family attorney James Ellison said nobody knows. Davis asked Ellison again. We're not ready to discuss that at this point, he said, adding, I don't know that any adult knows exactly how he got the gun. If the weapon is registered to mom and mom has the weapon in the house and she's got a badass little kid and she has not secured her weapon. I have lots of weapons. All of my weapons are secure. The ones that are out and about that you see, they don't have weapons. There's no ammo. All the ammo is secure. So it's not that he just got the weapon, but he got the ammunition. If I got a 6-year-old running around my house, I don't have weapons laying around like that. Even on display, I'm putting everything away, locking everything up. You have to take their age into account. They're kids. They're kids. They see a weapon, they're going to pick it up and fire it. There's a video on YouTube right now of some dude, I think it was in Ohio, in Columbus. Mom and dad in the back doing God knows what. The kids were in the front room. Next thing you know, you hear weapons, rounds being fired. Like, pow! Kid picked up the gun. Pow! Went off. Kids start running and crying. Then the father come running out. He grabbed the gun. It fires again. Pow! The kids got tinnitus now. Anybody, that little kid, when the weapon went off, that kid's going to always have this little tone in their ear from this point forward. It's just a kid. That kid could have shot himself, could have shot one of the other kids, could have shot one of the parents. If you're going to have weapons, you have to secure your weapons. That's part of the responsibility. That's why we don't lay butcher knives around so the kids can play with the knives. We don't do that, right? This is why we plug up all of the electrical outlets so the kid doesn't get something, stick it in there and zap themselves, right? That's what we do. It's part of being a parent. Parents and stuff, right? It's parents and stuff. So this attorney is saying we're not ready to discuss how the child got the weapon and the ammo. It was a loaded weapon. Y'all not prepared to discuss it because his mama's gun. That's why they don't want to discuss it. His mama's weapon. Doesn't make any sense to me. You know how these people do this stuff, man. No one wants to take accountability. No one wants to take accountability. Wonderful 34s in the house. What's good, fam? Always a pleasure to see you, man. We're talking parental stuff, talking parent stuff. We're starting off with some serious stuff, and then we're gonna taper into some more, fun-loving stuff here in a second. But I just want to get through this story. The gun was purchased by Taylor and was kept on the top shelf of her bedroom closet, secured by a trigger lock. Ellison told CNN in January the child brought the gun to school in his backpack, police said. I don't believe that. I think that's a lie. Or what you people call cap. Not you people, but what the young folks call cap. I think that's a bold-faced lie. That weapon was probably just laying around wherever she put it last. It was on the top shelf of her bedroom closet. How did he get up there? How did he know it was up there? Where were you? He in your room, in your closet, how did he get up there? He's 6. And a trigger lock was on there? Well, how did he defeat the trigger lock? There was no trigger lock. I believe that's a bold-faced lie. There's no trigger lock. My child will not be criminally charged. I'm sorry, the child will not be criminally charged. Newport News Commonwealth Attorney Howard Jen said in March. So the prosecuting attorney, Howard Gwynn, is not going to charge this child. Why not? I hope they charge the parent. Someone needs to be held accountable for this. Taylor said that as a parent, she accepts responsibility for the shooting and apologized to Zwindner. That is on, let me see, that is my son. So I am, as a parent, obviously willing to take responsibility for him because he can't take responsibility for himself. I'm pretty sure her attorney wrote that for her. Yeah, she should have to do some time. I really hope the Commonwealth prosecutors do something about this. She should have to do some time. That don't make any sense, y'all. But that's what I'm talking about, man. That's that's what happens when you don't parent. That's what happens when you don't parent. You got a badass little kid and you can't control this kid. The last thing you need in that house is a weapon. And if you're going to have a weapon in the house, you got to make sure you secure that weapon from that badass little kid. That's parenting stuff, y'all. You got to adjust. You have to adjust. Get some help. And I'm not going to get into the whole where's the father and all this kind of stuff. I'm not getting into any of that. Now, we already know what time it is. I'm not getting into any of that. You just got to parent. That's an extreme example of how not to do it. That's bad. Now, here's the thing. You could be a parent out there. You could discipline your child properly, using all forms of discipline, not just corporal punishment, but you could take stuff away. You know what I mean? You using time out, which I don't believe in, but at least you're doing something. You can do it all right. You could be married, have a very supportive family, very supportive neighborhood, and still have a kid mess up like that. I ain't saying that it's not possible. Like if you do these things, it's never gonna go bad. I'm not saying that. Being a parent is hard. It is hard. This kid, 6. What do you think that little boy would do at 16? Trust me, whatever it is he gets into at 16, he'll be charged as an adult then. It's bad code. But you can raise a child, quote unquote, perfectly, and they still be bad code. It could still be a problem. It is what it is. You just don't know. There's just no book on this. You just don't know. But you have to do it right. You have to do it to the best of your ability. You can't sit back and just be friends. This is gonna be my girlfriend. There's so many mothers out there that have daughters and they have sons, but I see it with the daughters, and they out partying, they out kicking it. They got their 16-year-old daughter out there with them. It just doesn't make any sense. I've seen this. This is my best friend kind of thing. As a matter of fact, this reminds me of a story.
Everybody sit down.
Y'all know what it is.
Down, please. It's story time. It's story time.
I don't think we've had a story time in a while. I'm in LA. I don't know if I told this before or not, but I'm in LA. All right, I'm living in Marina Del Rey. And I'm hanging out with a guy that I met that lives in the complex. Right? Guy lives in the complex. I'm in Marina Del Rey. We decided to go out and get drinks. And we go to just like this part of Marina Del Rey, Abney Kinney. Is it Abney Kinney? Abbott Kinney. I think it's the name of the street. It's like a real popular thing. The beach crowd comes in there, and like the city dwellers come in there. It's a cool little spot. Has a bunch of cool little bars or whatever. So we in there, me and this dude. We go to the first bar. We're sitting there, and this beautiful young woman sitting at the bar. She's got she's got a couple drinks in front of her, and then there's an older woman sitting next to her. It's probably like her older friend or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, cool. My buddy goes and chats up the young woman, and I'm sitting there chatting up the older woman. Just playing my role as ring man. All right, cool. So she was like, seemed like she was interested, whatever. The young one talking to my friend. So they leave. And then, me and my buddy, we kind of hang out a little bit, and then we go to the next spot. Well, about 3 or 4 spots later, we see the young woman and the older woman in this bar, pub kind of thing. They're sitting at the table, and there are, bro, no less than 8 drinks sitting in front of the older woman, and it's like just as many drinks sitting in front of the younger woman. Bro, they are done up. They toe down. They drunk. And my dude walks in there, sees the young woman. She sees him. She comes over to him, hanging out with him. She's like, I don't want to be over there. The older woman, she could barely keep her head up. She's like toe up. And I gave my card to one of them at some point during the night. I think I may have given I gave the card to her because she wrote down my dude's number on the back. That's what it was. I gave her the young girl the card. So we're outside the pub. She's like, she's drunk. She's like, I don't want to go here. And she's kind of making out with my buddy a little bit. And then he was like, well, look, this is before Uber. It's like, well, we'll drop you off because I'm designated driver. I'm not drinking. Like, she's like, no, I don't know. And she just kind of walks off. She just walks off on her own. Just walks off into the darkness, right? Mind you, we in Marina Del Rey. We're real close to the beach in LA. My dude was like, what do we do? I'm like, hey, bro, what can we do, man? You don't know her, whatever. If you want to go after, you can, but I'm leaving. He was like, all right, let's go. Get the car to valet, boom, go home. The next afternoon, I get a call from LAPD, Detective so-and-so. I don't know. It was like Detective Lopez or something like that. Hey, this is Detective Lopez with Los Angeles LAPD. Is this DL Saint? I'm not using my real name, I use my government name. And I was like, I started messing with dude. All right, who is this? I'm thinking this is one of my buddies. Mind you, I'm a brand new comedian, right? This is maybe a year or so I've been a comedian, still an air traffic controller, but comedians are crazy, right? So I'm thinking, my buddies are playing a joke. And old boy was like talking to me. He's like, listen, this isn't a prank. I'm Detective Lopez. I'm investigating a grape. And I was like, yo, all right, how can I help you? And he started asking me questions. Y'all know how cops do it. Were you here on or about this day? Were you there on about this day? Okay, when you went into this bar, tell me what happened. Oh, I went in and da-da-da. He knew about my buddy. He gave me his full name. I didn't even know dude's full name. He gave me dude's full name. Were you with? And he said dude's full name. Like I said, I didn't even know his full name. Hell, I didn't forget his first name by this point, and telling y'all the story now. So I'm like, all right, dude, done talk to him. So he's like, okay, so tell me what happened. Well, this is it. Tell me what you saw. Well, I saw these 2 women, described them. This is the younger woman and the older woman, da-da-da. Okay, they left. We went to some other places. We saw them later on in the night at this place. He's like, okay, this is the part he really wanted to know about. Again, this is all over the phone, right? They didn't want me to come in. So that's how you always know the police ain't looking at you when they don't want you to come in. He's doing this over the phone. He was like, all right, I want you to tell me exactly what happened from your point of view when you walked in this place. So I'm telling dude, like, yo, if we got people out there, you snitching, like, bro, no, I'm not. I'm helping law enforcement. I'm doing my civic duty. Yeah, I didn't understand something. I was a federal employee at the time. The last thing I needed was drama with LAPD on a grape case. This is a violent crime. This is a serious felony, right? So I'm sitting there going through it, telling what I saw. This is how it went down. Last time we saw her, she was walking this direction towards this street, da-da-da-da. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I was like, so what's this all about, bro? And he's like, listen, the older woman went home with those young guys. It was like a bunch of surfer dudes. The older woman went home with them. She stayed home with them. And it got physical. She woke up and she was like, oh, I didn't consent to any of this. The younger woman was her daughter. That's a long way to get to this pale, right? The younger woman was her daughter. The daughter was a minor. She was like 16. She didn't look 16, y'all. She's like, yeah, she's 16, almost 17 years old. She was a child, minor child. She was out with her mom. Dad had custody. The mom was an attorney. Mom is hanging out with her daughter, taking her to the bar, letting her drink, getting her drunk. This is a minor. Mom went home with the dudes. This is the older woman. You know what I mean? She went home with the dudes. They did what they did. She claims the next morning that she didn't consent. And that's why law enforcement was involved. And it was a missing person case because they couldn't find the young girl. They didn't find her until like the following day. Like I want to say like the following evening. She was gone. Again, this was before Uber. This was before tracking phones and all that. She didn't have a cell phone. This was before all that. No one knows where she was. And you know what? Let me backtrack on that. They found her the next day, but it was daytime. That's what it was. So it wasn't, you know what I mean? So, the night went on. She was out pretty much all night by herself. And I think that the father had to go look for the daughter and he found her. Something like that. It was something along those lines. So that was that story. This lady's hanging out with her daughter, getting drunk, right? Getting wasted. I guess she thought she was bonding. Like, that's your child. That's you, the mom. That's your daughter. What are you doing? You don't do that. You don't do that. Imagine if they got that young girl to come home with mom and everything. Just imagine what that little girl probably had to go through. 16, 17-year-old right there, laying right there next to her mom. And I tell this story and people like, man, that's rare. Like, it's not. It's not. And that was Marina Del Rey. That's California. That's out there where the one percenters play. Everybody involved had money. Even the surfer boys had money because they live walking distance. We blocks away from the ocean in California. Everybody touching M's in this story, except for me at that point. I wasn't touching M's yet. But everybody in that story was touching M's. You know what I mean? Except for the two black dudes, me and dude. Everybody else was touching M's. And she out there, kicking it with her daughter. That's bad parenting. That's real bad parenting stuff. Shouldn't be doing that. You should stay home. Stay home. Keep your child safe. Why y'all out? Why you got her out? That happens in California a lot. That happens in most big cities. I can't tell you how many times I've been to a club or some event somewhere and I'm talking to some woman and she's there with her mom. And they both out there dressed to impress, this and that. Just ready to go. Ready to go. You hear me? They bout it. And the child's not a minor. I'm talking about grown women, but like 18, 19, 20 years old, still too young to be in the spot. Like, how'd they get in here? But again, some of these cities, if a woman looks good, they just gonna let you in. It's a horrible story. I'm glad the little girl didn't get where her mama got. I'm glad that little girl was able to avoid that. But I think about her dad. And they were going through the police was telling me, the detective told me, like, yeah, they're going through this separation, this divorce, this contentious over child support. Yeah, I see why. I wonder if they took that child away from that mom. Probably not. Probably not. So we got to do better, y'all. Parents, you're going to parent. Try to do better. Go out here and talk to folks. And what so and we'll get into let's get into the light stuff because that's pretty hardcore. But let's get into the light stuff, right? So, I'm a single dad, got a teenage child, and my little girl decided she wants she told me she wants an allowance, which is hilarious because I had to point out some stuff to her, like, well, you get this much money every single day. What do you think that is? Oh, well, so right off the rip, not appreciative of whatever's going on right now, right? Not appreciative, but I get it. You know what I mean? But my daughter is stepping up. She's getting her grades together. She's doing more stuff around the house. She wants an allowance. So technically she wants an increase. So as a parent, all right, here, this opportunity to learn. I'm going to teach my daughter how to negotiate. And I had this plan. I was going to bring in a third party. And I had this plan. I'm my daughter negotiate. We're going to have an unbiased third party and act as an arbitrator. We're going to do all this stuff. And I ran by Jay Swans. Jay Swans. I said, hey, man, this is what I'm thinking about doing. You know what Jay Swan said to me?
You big dummy.
He was like, don't do that. Like, you a big dummy. Don't do that. And he started to run down the reasons why. Like, man, that sounds good on paper, bro. But here, let me show you. Let me show you something, bro. Let me show you something. Because him and his wife raised two, you know what I mean? Two handsome, two strong young men. And I was like, oh, so he told me what he had to say. And I'm like, yeah, bro, you're right. Because this could be a problem. Here I am thinking I'm taking an opportunity to teach my daughter this and that. And really, I'm really giving myself an opportunity. I'm inviting problems into this situation, big time problems. And we must have talked 25, 35 minutes on this. And then he talked the next day, we talked about it some more. He was like, bro, so as a parent, like I say, it takes a village. You don't need the village just for your child. You need the village so you can talk to other parents who are a little bit further down the road. And they can tell you like, nah, you don't want to do this, or maybe you want to do that. So again, this is what it all comes down to. I almost messed up big. Now, I'm gonna talk to my daughter about negotiation. We're gonna talk about that skill. We're gonna talk about determining your worth. We're gonna discuss a whole bunch of things. And I talked to my brother about it. My brother broke it down too. My brother don't have any kids, but he's been around, just watching others get raised, our nieces and all this other kind of stuff, cousins. So he's like, nah, he broke it. He was giving me insight as well. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So y'all need to do that. Parents, y'all need to do that. If you're a parent out there and you're like dead set against corporal punishment for your children, you got a newborn or whatever, you got you a toddler. How about you talk to some parents who are okay with corporal punishment? How about you holler at someone like me, or holler at somebody like Black Man, or holler at those people within your circle that can give you some insight? Because I will agree, abuse is abuse. We're not saying that you abuse a child, but you need to figure out a way to let the child know how important it is that they don't do whatever it is they were doing. Most of the time when my daughter got spanked, it was because she was doing something that could get her hurt. It was dangerous. So that was most of it. And then some of it was, talking back to me or something like that, but whatever. That wasn't all the time. I got a child that's pretty good. But it took work. Like I said, you can't reason with these little kids. I see that all the time. He'd be out in the mall, out in public somewhere, and they're sitting there trying to reason. Look, little Johnny, we don't throw rocks. If you throw rocks, we don't throw rocks. You just smash somebody's window. You paying for that? You know what I mean? So, it's just the kid. Nah, I've seen kids fly the door open, just open the door and just kick the door open, and they hit the car, ding the car next to their car. And, parents are just sitting there, I don't know what to do with this child. Then why you had a child? You see what I'm saying? It's hard work. And like everything else, people want cheat codes. There's no cheat codes to parenting. It's hard work. You got to figure it out. You got to get in there and you got to get it done. It's really, really difficult. Parenting is hard. This little thing, like, my daughter wants an increase in her allowance. All right. That could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing, but it's up to me to figure it out. I got to make it work as a parent. I don't know what to do. I got ideas. Luckily, I have people I can run my ideas by. It's funny too, when my daughter's sitting here right now listening, probably taking notes, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this extra money. She's sitting here listening, which is fine. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, it's gonna come with what it comes with, but again, you don't get something for nothing for long. And this thing about Americans expect something for nothing. When we had the pandemic and they shut everything down, all that STEMI money came, right? That was something for nothing. Welfare, something for nothing. Right. And when you look at other people, look at ways to extract resources from others, be it the government, local, state, city, federal, or from other people. People get, lawsuit crazy. Well, I'm gonna sue this person for this, trying to get something for nothing. That's where we are. No one believes in hard work anymore. That's where we are as a society. Brother Chris Smokey Hat. I don't use corporal punishment, but the compromise I use for my son is through burpees, push-ups, planks, etc. Two birds, one stone. He learns discipline and stays in shape. That's cool, bro. That's cool. And so we have platforms like this on YouTube or wherever where we can come together and we can share this information. I like that. I like that. I got a girl. I don't, my daughter's not athletic like that. I mean, she's in perfect shape, but I don't want to punish her using, exercise. I don't want to do that because I don't want her to look at exercise as a punishment, because I want her, because I want her to want to stay in shape. But I like that, especially for dudes, so he can, get himself together, and you're probably out there with him. I like that. And if it's working, who? That's all I can say about that. Who? I'm assuming you a big dude, so he's probably looking at you like, man, I ain't trying to cross pops. He got that old man strength. You out there doing more push-ups and burpees than him. We got fam in the building. Brother Don 007's in the building. What's good, fam? The bricks about to start talking, man. We got, what I'm saying? We got the East Coast in the building. Yeah, we do not negotiate with terrorists. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm from that school of thought, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna terminate that butt with extreme prejudice. I'm coming in. But again, I think it's a really good thing when people can take the good from everyone else and leave the bad and kind of take that, and it's gonna help them move forward. My cousin says this all the time, man. There's no manual for being a parent, bro. This stuff is hard, and you can do everything right, everything perfect, and your child still mess up. You can do that, man. I've seen it. I've been with the good girls. I've been with the bad girls. I've been with the good boys and the bad boys. You know what I'm saying? Just out and about in these streets. You'd be surprised who the people who wanted to set it off the most were the people who had the most to lose. I'm like, why would you want to do that? A lot of it, they're just rebelling or whatever. So you got to deal with that. Like, I don't want my child to rebel against me, but I understand that's part of it. How can we meet halfway? I had a recent thing with my child where, she messed up. This is the worst thing she's ever done. She doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And I sat down, we talked about it. I mean, it cost her. There was no spanking. If it were up to her, she would rather get the whooping than have to deal with what she has to deal with now, because she lost a lot of freedom. Right? She lost this. It's gone. She ain't getting that from me. They go holler at your other people trying to get one of these, and they ain't helping you either. So what she did was she messed up. She understands that. She's never even asked. She's like, I'm not even gonna ask, because she understands. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna take responsibility for this. She knows she messed up. And it's gone. I broke it down. Like, oh, you want to get one of those back? Just how much you owe. You owe this much money, right? It's felony money. You owe that much. You only. I had to break it down to her. That's just how the law works. You did this to anybody but your dad, you'd be locked up right now. Right now, as a little teenager, locked up in juvenile for what you did. Broke it down, watched videos, everything. This is what you did. This is called a felony. And it helped. We sat there, and instead of me, like, because I'd have got put out the house. If I did something like that, cost the family that kind of bread, I'd have got put out. It's a lot of money, y'all. A lot of money. At a time where there's other things going on in my life. And kids don't realize that. They living in their bubble. Everything is great. But she doesn't realize, and she did not realize how it affected her dad and her family. Like, listen, I had to break the numbers down. Like, this is how much you did. Most people would lose their house behind this. I had to break it down. Like, yeah, she's a youngin. People like, oh, don't talk to her like that. You out here doing this grown up. This grown up stuff right here. You start doing grown up felonies. I'm gonna talk to you like a grown up. This is what happened. This is what normal people can't afford an extra $400 or $500. Told her, like, how much money you got right now? She told me, I'm like, yeah, most families don't have that. They can't afford to pay something that amount of money right now. It'll mess everything up. They won't be able to pay the real bills. You got that just to play with. You getting $100 a month just to play with. So now we had to sit down and talk about that. Big time. Bro, it works. Boys need structures. Girls definitely need a different approach. So if I had a girl, I would seek advice from fathers who have daughters because it's not one size fit all. Facts, bro. Facts. And that's what we're trying to do here. That's what we're trying to do here, man. Like, you know what I mean? We got this platform. We can come out. We got people from all over, man, all over the country, all over the world. And we got people from all over the world being on here from every continent, really, coming from Europe, coming from Africa, Australia, here, and people from other parts of Asia in here, you know what I mean? And as we grow, we're going to get even more people. So it's really cool that we can just get on this platform and we can find out, well, how y'all handle it, Brother Smeebles over there in Australia. Like, how do y'all handle it over here, bro? Like, well, how y'all do it over there in Australia? We do it this way. You know what I mean? We have Brother Dino. How y'all do it over there in UK, bro? You know what I'm saying? We had a young brother on here from South Africa. Yo, what are you seeing down there? And so that's what we got. I kind of like this. I like this opportunity. We can kind of compare notes. Miss AKA ladies in the house. What's good, love? How you feeling? We talking parenting stuff. We talking parenting stuff. Miss AKA lady, what's your view on spanking, corporal punishment for your kids? I'm just curious. What's your view? Brother Chris, much the same as everyone else. I too am still figuring things out, along with the added and highly welcome challenge of raising a son in modern America. Man, it's really hard, bro. It's hard raising kids, but yeah, boys, because no one cares about the struggles of men. You know what I mean? No one cares. But if he has you, he can come to talk to you about anything and everything, man, he has a leg up on everybody else, man, for real. Miss AKA lady talking about raising the babies. Love this topic. Yeah, talking about beating their little butts when they act up. You know what I mean? And then after they get like I said, my daughter would take a spanking every day. Every day if it meant she got to keep this. Every day, she please come on. You know what I mean? She probably whoop herself. She's like, I made a whooping machine, so you don't have to do it. Just give me my phone. Like, nah, you want that phone back? You gonna? That's money right there. And again, like she did what she did. She knew it was wrong, but I don't think she understood just how bad it was. I don't think she really understood how bad it was and what it could have done. And we had those discussions, and we still talk about it. We still talk about it. It's like, hey, because how come we haven't been doing this? How come we haven't been doing that? I'm like, well, remember the phone thing? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, that money would have been used for us to do this and for us to do that. And then there's, she doesn't know about the grown-up stuff that I'm dealing with. She doesn't know about the court system. She doesn't know about accounts being frozen and all this other kind of stuff. She doesn't know about all that. She doesn't know about having to pay attorneys. She doesn't know about all that. She doesn't know about paying the outstanding bills, and she doesn't know about any of that. We're slowly integrating her into that. But it's like, you took a big chunk. That big chunk, that money you took doing whatever you did with that money. Now you see how it comes back to haunt you later. And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I see that. So I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to make do. You're still eating, still got a roof over your head. You're still getting your get your little money every day. You get money to go to school with every day. Yeah. And we keep that conversation going. Miss AKA lady, I think it depends on the child. If the child responds to basic discipline, that's cool. but some kids need more. Don't spare the rod on a kid that needs it. Ooh, good point. Good point. Coming from a sister. Good point. Do not spread the rod for a child who needs it. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I don't spare the rod on kids who don't need it. Like I said, when they're younger, that's when I do it. That's when I think you get the fullest effect when they're young. Again, you can't reason with a little kid, but you can give them a reason. They understand that. They don't want the big, it was always a big thing too. It'd be yelling and screaming and running around. It was just a big thing. Kids like, oh, they didn't want that. They don't, it's the pain. It didn't even hurt. Again, they didn't get it the way I got it. They're not getting switches and extension cords and you know what I mean, and yardsticks and all that. Hey, bro, we took some L's. We took some L's. Now, we deserved it. And I think back on it like, man, if I didn't get whoopings, I'd probably be locked up or dead right now. Because we still went on to do horrible things. We got away with it. We were real good at the stuff we were doing because we didn't want to get these whoopings. And we still got caught, you know what I mean, when we did the real big things. And I think about that, like, man, if I grew up in an environment where the grown-ups were just sitting there talking to me, telling me to sit down and think about what I did, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be locked up or dead. Guarantee it. I know we would have went in people's houses. I already know it. The stuff that we were already doing stuff like that. Not going in the houses, but we were already doing stuff like we were taking from people. We didn't want to go in any houses, but the reason, like, it's not worth it, man. We're gonna get caught, it's gonna be this and that. But I know for a fact if the grown-ups of our parents and aunts and uncles, grandma didn't come down on us like they did, bro, I don't think none of us would have made it. I don't think none of us would have made it. I'm surprised to this every day I think about it. I'm shocked that I made it, even with the beating, getting beat down. But yeah, and I'm done having kids. So I'm done having kids. Like, so when my daughter is done with high school, I'm out. I'm looking at Peru heavy right now. I'm looking at Peru. I like Argentina. Of course, Colombia's in play. Yeah, I'll definitely be somewhere in South America. I'm out. No kids. I'm not raising anybody's kids. I'm not doing it. If I meet someone, they have a child, like, all right, we'll work out something. Don't bring your kids around me. If you want to come over and get smashed, come over and get smashed. You want to go out and have a good time, we just go kick it. That's fine. Don't bring your kids around. I'm not on that. That's just me. A lot of people like, man, that's wrong. Oh, well, that's what I'm doing. It just is what it is. That's what I'm doing. Like, if we out here, we having a good time, and because like I said, I tell people up front, this is what I'm doing. This is how I look. This is how it's going to work. I tell them up front, and they're like, okay. A lot of women are like, okay, that's cool. And then you get into it, 6 months to a year down the road, and then one day they pull up, right? They pull up, they walk in, and they got their kids in hand, and they walk up like, well, I know the rules, but just this one time, you know what I do? That's how I leave it standing there. I'm gone. I'm the road runner. Beep, beep, pew. I'm gone. I already told you the rules, baby. This how we gonna do it. I already told you the rules. I stick to them. I don't want anything to do with it. I understand how difficult it is. I'm not coming in. I'm not doing it. And for those men who want to step up, and for those women who want to step up and get involved with people who do have children, hey, man, salute to you. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm not doing it. But for those who do, man, that's what's up. I ain't tripping. Miss AKA lady. We took a lot of mama stress out on whoopings. I'm sorry. We took a lot of mama stressed out whoopings when I was young. I'm very conscious to not discipline from frustration. That's when you can start to lose control. Facts. Yes, you are 100%. My daughter has been spared spankings because I was angry. And it wasn't what she did. It was because I was angry. So I'm like, I'm not going to do anything. Facts. That was a good point because I never thought about that. But yeah, facts. Don't discipline your kid because you're mad about something else. You have to be in tune with you. You got to know it. You got to know it. Don't be beating your child because you're mad about something else. That's easily done. Easily done, y'all. And if you can't distinguish between the two, then you should not be. Don't use that option. Don't discipline your kids. Have mom do it, or have dad do it. But if you can't separate the two, don't discipline them. Don't figure out another way. Because yeah, Miss AKA lady, you're right about that, sis. That's bad. That's a very, very slippery slope. And it's the kids are sitting there like, what did I do? Like, that's the worst. When you take a beating for something that wasn't even bad, like, yo, what? That was nothing. What? And then you don't get in trouble for something you did that was real bad. Like, yo, I'm supposed to get beat down for this. Now it's confusing. You sending mixed signals, so don't do it. If you can't handle it, don't do it. That's a technique that yeah. It's a technique like all of the techniques. You got to master it. You got to master it. Brother Chris, I remember getting throat punched for saying what to my mother back in the day. Good times. Woo, not the throat punch, bro. Jeez. Jeez. Yeah, Brother Dino, I'm all about that, bro. Yes. Yes, I'm all about that. You know, whenever I go to Columbia, like I'm man, look, I'm Medellin all the way. So I've already looked at property. I've already priced some stuff. I've seen some different options. And this was before whatever's going on now with the with America and the dollar. But the dollar is to this day is still strong down there. Yeah, bro. Yes, I'm with you 100%. Brother Don 007, I don't think it's about beating the kids. More action have consequences. Are you willing to deal with the consequences? And some actions could cost you your life. Absolutely. And that's what we were talking about at the top of the show. When you discipline your children, man, you have to love your children enough to discipline them because you are potentially saving them. Because they're going to have to go out and deal with the real society. There's so many stories out there of guys going into homes, burglarizing homes and getting shot. And then, people are sitting there like, I can't believe that, my father or my uncle or my son got shot. Well, he shouldn't have went in that house. He was burglarizing. He went in there with a weapon. The homeowner had a weapon, was better trained, had a better weapon, and they took care of him. That's what's supposed to happen. That's it. That's supposed to happen. I saw 3 or 4 stories on YouTube just over the past few days because you watch one story and the algorithm starts feeding you more. Don't go into people's house to rob them. You go into someone's house to rob them, bro. And a lot of these stories I was watching, it was in the South, Georgia, Mississippi, Texas. Like, bro, what are you thinking? Don't go into those homes. Guys going in there trying to burglarize or whatever, or maybe they're thinking about some sort of strong arm robbery or whatever. They got tore up in Memphis, Tennessee. Two black guys going to a house, and it was a black man in the house with his family, grandma, kids, and all that. They came in right away, weapons out, talking to the boy. The teenage boy was in the living room, and the boy was like, "Please don't shoot, please don't shoot." Dad's in the back room. He hears all this, grabs his weapon, comes out, engages both the guys. He deletes one, the other got away, and the police caught him. That's what's going to happen. That's what should happen. Don't do that. And some of that could be traced back to, upbringing. But again, like I said, there's people out there who had everything, had the best living, the best background, got discipline and everything, and they still wound up being bad people. It is what it is. Miss AKA lady, say, what? At my mom, definitely equal to cursing, LOL. Yeah. That's like you saying what? Yeah, but yeah, that's so disrespectful. You don't do that. But as you can see, everyone has their different techniques. We all agree that it's difficult to raise kids. It's a challenge, but it still is. It's a challenge that obviously you want because you have the child. And we're not going to get into that. You know what I mean? For women, okay, you had the child. Obviously, you want to be a mom. For guys who, you in a situation, obviously you want to be a dad. Do what it do. Take care of it. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother situation. And I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to taint, I don't want to muddy this conversation with, I didn't want to be a parent. I didn't have a choice. Yes, I get that. That that is a conversation I probably will have maybe next month. Uh, men don't have any reproductive rights in America. Women do, but that's another conversation. That's another conversation. You know, brother Chris Smokey had it. Brother Don Double Simon was like, "Yeah, man, can't agree more. Actions equal consequences. Yes, they do." Miss AKA lady, positive reinforcement of good behavior is an important discipline tool, that parents can overlook. I don't think too much negativity is good either. Yes, I do my best to balance the two out. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I come off on the south side more often than not. You know, like right now, like tell my daughter, like my daughter wants a pay raise, basically. She wants an increase to her allowance. And she said that. I'm like, really? You can't even keep your room clean. You won't, you know what I mean? But she's like, but I'm doing a good job with the bathroom and I'm washing my clothes and I'm doing this. Like, look at all the dust around here. I'm like, you know what? We can sit down and negotiate. We can sit down and negotiate. I am encouraged by this conversation though with my daughter because she really wants to work. We were at McDonald's in the drive-thru picking up some sodas or something. And she's reading the sign, help wanted. She's like, what's that, Papa? I'm like, oh, that means they want to hire people to work. You know, and I'm like, she's like, can kids work? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a process, but yeah. Before I could finish the statement, she's like, I want to work. she wants to get a job at McDonald's. Like, you're not old enough to get a permit yet. And then a month later, they taught her in her civics class about work permits and, you know, child labor law. So she was like, oh, I understand now. She's like, I'm almost old enough. I can't wait. So she wants to work. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm definitely going to cultivate that. I want to encourage that. But I also want her to understand that there are those people out there who work for someone, and there are people out there who are bosses and they work for themselves. And her godmom does really well for herself and does some entrepreneur stuff and has money, this, that, and the third. So there's going to be an opportunity to take this interest and show my child how many different ways you can make money. You want to be the worker bee or you want to be the queen bee? And I can, you know, have an opportunity to talk to her about that. I'm looking forward to it. And we had these conversations little by little. Just, you know, we're out and about, we're hanging out, driving, whatever we're doing. We had these conversations. So you're right. And then I definitely I want to positively reinforce her good actions. And I'm just slowly getting there. Man, it's hard having kids. Even when you have a mom and dad in the house, whether you're married or not, but if you have the woman and the man in the house and the child right there, it's still difficult. Yeah, it's just so hard, y'all, but it is what it is. You got to step up to the challenge. What you can't do is just lay there and give up. Like the lady with the 6-year-old devil child who shot his teacher. She just gave up and just walking around here talking about it's because he got ADHD. That's why he shot that lady. Somebody should smack that lady right in her stupid head. Yeah, I said it. Brother Chris, I found that good parenting is about being involved, setting and maintaining standards, having kids know that they are responsible for their actions and, again, of consequences. Facts, bro. Facts, bro. Y'all on fire. That's a Don DeMarco right there if I ever heard one. Facts. That's what it is. That's all you can do. You cannot be expected to do anymore as a parent. That's all you can do. Only thing I will add to that is make sure your children, they know you love them. I tell my daughter every single day. She hears it all the time. Some people are like, man, you say it too much. Like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Because I know what it's like not to hear it. Yeah, you know, okay, you know, people like, well, I'm sure they love you. All right. My daughter there's absolutely no question that her parents love her because she hears it all the time. Her mom says it all the time. I say it all the time. She knows it. That's all she's ever heard. So make sure your kids know you love them. And not just by saying it, but you know, with your actions too. Told my daughter, it was a couple of days I didn't even want to talk to my daughter. When that stuff went bad over the phone, when that went bad, I ain't want to talk to her. I ain't want to see her. But I told her, yeah, I'm mad at you, but I still love you. I'm mad at you. Like, I'm really upset with you. I can't talk to you right now. I need to go get my hair right because I was angry. Right? That goes what Miss AKA lady was saying. I was livid. I was livid. If I acted on those emotions, I'd have kicked my daughter out. That's how mad I was. I couldn't have that. It took me the better part of 2 weeks to calm down. 2 weeks still cooking for my child, tending to my child. She got sick during that period. Still had to do. I was still mad. Back in my head, I'm like, I'm glad you sick. I was mad for real. I was that mad. I was that upset. Took me some time to calm down, but once I calmed down, all right, it's cool. It's cool. Now let's talk about it. Now let's talk about it. Now let's discipline for it. So she understands, she understood the consequences of her action. Going back to what Brother Chris was talking about. Miss AKA lady, that's great. We have a ton of money. Am I reading this right? We have a ton of money talk in my house. I need my kids to know everything about money that I know before they leave my house. Facts. I wish I had that training. Facts. And I do wish I had that training. And again, I'm not looking back and I'm trying to throw shade at my parents or anything like that. They did the absolute best they could, given the situation that they were in. I'm not tripping. But I can learn from that. Like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this because I didn't have that training growing up. My parents put me in a position where I understand these things because I was able to be more successful. And now that I know these things, I can pass it on to my daughter and I can pass it on to those young ones who will listen. Not just my kids. Like I said, it takes a village, man. Each one teach one. That's why I work with these young guys. Even that little knucklehead boy here on my property. Whenever I see him, he waves now. If I catch him alone, you know what I mean? Not alone, but if I catch him walking around or whatever, I come talk to him like, what's up, man? How you feeling? I'll talk to him. I have no problem being part of his village. You know what I mean? He got wrong, whatever. He understood, like, bro, you better sit down somewhere. You messing with the wrong lion. You know what I mean? You better go on somewhere. But that doesn't mean I'm going to have him walking around with animosity. No, I'm going to talk to him. Still lead by example. I'm going to still lead from the front. He can learn from that, great. If I can help this young man, great. That's what I'm going to do. But you're right about the money talk. Right about that. I'm going to talk to my daughter about different loans, like FHA loans. I'm talking to her, her father's a vet. I'm going to talk to my daughter about VA loans. Talk to my daughter about serving. She might want to do that. She might want to enlist in the United States military. She might. I still want to encourage her. I still love this country, but at the same time, America is changing. I don't know, but she might. Talk about the benefits for doing that. We'll talk about the different branches. Talk about what she wants to do. She really know what she wants to do. She likes space. I know that. She likes stars and moon, like the planets and stuff. She digs that. So I'm gonna take her on the trip. We go out here and do some astrology and probably go over. There's a couple places in this country still you can go out and really see the stars, see the universe. There's definitely some places in the world we can do that. So I'm going to encourage those things. Make sure she understands how the financial system works or doesn't work. Right? We need to talk about that too. You talk about, we talked about loans. We talked about APRs, percentages on money, on borrowing money. She had no idea. No one told me about that growing up. It's like, yeah, 25 cents. Like for every dollar you borrow, you got to pay them a quarter. Put the dollar out there and put the coins out there so she can see it. Yeah, for every dollar you borrow, you got to pay me a quarter back. That adds up. She's like, Papa, that adds up. Like, yeah, it sure does. When you're talking about 250,000, 500,000, yeah, it adds up quick. So when you're looking at something like 10% versus 5%, that adds up quick. So we had those conversations. Brother Dino, Brother DL, I remember our HR director leading a work mobile to a friend, lending a work mobile. Oh yeah, work phone to a friend. Over the weekend, the friend's kid ran up over $5,000 bill on gaming nonsense. Oh my goodness. Did your director lose the job, or who had to pay that money? Human resources director lending a work mobile, a work cellular phone to a friend. And over the weekend, the kid ran up over $5,000. And that's, again, That child wasn't afraid to touch that phone because probably that parent always had the kid on the phone. It's probably why they didn't have a phone in the first place, because they owe another $5,000 the kid done ran up. That's what I'm talking about right there. Brother Dino, that's crazy. How did that story end? How did it end, bro? How did that end, bro? She kept the job. Word? Word? Who paid that? I know the company didn't eat that. Who paid that? Wow. Wow. Miss AK, hey lady, when I was in business school, I was so far behind the other kids who grew up with parents in the financial field. I knew that if I had kids, they were going to be financially intelligent. Hey, shout out to you. Same thing here. Same thing here. My daughter will be prepared to make six figures plus. She will understand the tax, ramifications of that. She will have people in her circle that she can reach out to, accountants, tax preparers, tax specialists. She'll be able to handle all that. She'll have the resources at her fingertips so she can do all that. My daughter will be prepared. She will be prepared. My daughter will be successful. My daughter will do better than me. I did better than my parents. My parents did better than their parents, and so on, all the way back to the slave times. Right? That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? My grandmother's great grandmother was born a slave. So all of her kids have done better. Each generation has done better, all the way up to me. And I want her generation to do better. I want my daughter to do better than me. So I have to prepare her. I have to prepare her for her success that I know she's going to have. So looking at buying real estate, looking at 401ks, looking at investing in companies, getting stocks, looking at bonds, T-bills, REITs, all that stuff that Tarus was saying on that show we did, Investing 101, that show we did, was a good show. Shout out to brother Tarus. That was a good show. All that stuff we're going to talk about. My daughter's going to be prepared for that. So unlike me, she won't be, staring at $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 tax bills. I didn't know. She's going to be prepared for that. She's going to know how to offset that tax liability. My daughter's going to know plenty about LLCs and S corps and C corps and everything else. If she decides to get married, she's going to understand the advantages of being married, either filing separate or filing combined. Most of the married folks I know to make money, they're married, but they file separate. So, yeah, this is the parenting stuff that a lot of us miss out on because we're so bogged down working. We're so bogged down with the heavy stuff that we overlook this. This is just as important. So that's it. Speaking of parenting stuff, I got to go cook dinner. Actually, warm up dinner. I already cooked. I just got to warm it up. My child eats a lot. Swear she got hollow legs, man. She can eat. So we're about to go down here and eat. It's gonna be meatloaf tonight, y'all. Meatloaf with corn and salad, maybe some potatoes. Hey, thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. Y'all was listening to me. I appreciate y'all, rocking out with a brother. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow. Let me check. Because I've done a bunch of thumbnails. This is the first time I've had a bunch of thumbnails out. Let's see. Oh, looks like Mel King is on. Might have to go holler at her for a hot second. Let's see. Tomorrow, yeah, cooking sounds good. Yeah, like I know how to cook now. I know how to cook. Breakfast is my specialty. Not because I be smashing the night before, but hey, a lot of that does happen. But I just love breakfast food. Brother Chris at the chat. I'm on board. Generational wealth building, Black enterprise, Black ownership, upward mobility. Yes, sir. It's all about being financially literate. Facts, brother. I have fun. Great stream. Hey, thanks for rocking out with me. Tomorrow, guys, we're going to be talking about. I don't think I did a thumbnail for tomorrow, did I? I sure didn't. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. Tomorrow, we might be talking about. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow we're doing it's an open mic, yo. We're doing your favorite movie. We're gonna just talk about movies, man. We're gonna geek out on movies. Hey, I'm hoping y'all jump up here and talk. I'm gonna need y'all to jump up on the panel tomorrow. We just gonna wild out. What's your favorite movie? What's your worst movie? What's the dumbest movie you ever seen? What's the most complicated movie you ever seen? I ain't gonna lie, man. It took me 5 times to figure out 12 Monkeys. I was watching that movie 5 times to kind of understand it. So we're gonna be talking about movies tomorrow. Your favorite movie, Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please come through. Make sure y'all ready to get engaged in that one, y'all, because I love movies. So we're gonna be doing that. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for rocking out with me. That's tomorrow. And then on Friday, Shushu and I are supposed to be doing. We're gonna have a little conversation. We're gonna have Shushu back on Friday. I'll have that thumbnail out tomorrow, either tonight or tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about traditional relationships. What is the new norm? What is the new tradition? Should we change that all up? So we're going to be talking about that on Friday, guys. 6 p.m. right here on this platform. Thanks for rocking out with me. I'm done. It's time to go eat, time to go cook and all that good stuff. I hope you had a good time. I know I love rocking with y'all. Thank y'all so much for being active and being there for a brother. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. So that's it. I'm DL Saint. This is DL Saint. I Really Want to Know podcast. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 o'clock. We're going to be talking about movies. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.